So they'll be calling you a radical. We're here checking on the progress of the Onofre decommissioning. Tearing it down, headed to Utah. It's hot, baby. She's hot. So, God, it looks completely different, man. They've tore the shit out of it. It's been 10 years since we got it shut down. Whoa. So, we're here. This is a big deal. One of the great accomplishments in grassroots activism history. Dolly Parton's going to get a mastectomy starting pretty quick. The domes are going to come down pretty quick. But, boy, it don't even look the same, does it? It's 10 years exactly from that historic time that we got it shut down, which nobody believed we could do it. It's incredible. So here, hold this. I got to show you guys this. This is historic and important. Because this shirt is the first one out of the box. So Gene Stone, when he opened the box, when she made these, like, this belongs in the museum. He's like, glad you get the first one. Hands up, no news. But this is probably even more famous. So the workers that squealed, they're all ex-Marines, kind of like my dad, the Onofre Marine. They sent me this. This is when they were cheating on the exchange. This is the shirts they passed out. This is it. Got steam. They were cheating. They were bringing it in by ship, secretly, from Japan, of all places. The Hitachi steam generator, they were saving $100. And then Jerry Brown and PV and crew that were supposed to protect us were chopping up the goods. Go ask Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris was the AG then. Her mother had just passed away of leukemia. Yeah, she's the epidemiologist at Livermore. So, unbelievable, right? So don't drop your dry cast container. Woo! I almost dropped it. This is important. So, got steam. So it was on the box of Fukushima. Kathy Iwani was living there. You know, and I wasn't censored in Japan. Rachel Godoy was living there. You know, and they came home and they were, you know, Kathy was a huge part of this shutdown. And so, what an accomplishment. So, they want to bail out Diablo. You know, this is the first one. We kicked this domino down in 2013. Nobody said we could do it. Oh, we did it. Because our anonymous army come and watched what we had the goods on. And they were afraid of jail. And I had Kamala Harris's ear in those days because her mother had died of cancer at Livermore. And so they were afraid. They were afraid they were getting locked up, which they should have been locked up, including Moonbeaver Brown. PV, the California head of, I mean, what a crook. He told me to go fuck myself in a public hearing. He's a crook. So, when this one went down, nobody thought the dominoes started to tumble. We could go left coast to right coast. You know how many reactors shut down? This is the one, the domino that started it. Cajon, Duane Arnold, Oyster Creek, all those in Jersey. Indian Point, Pilgrim, Yankee. I mean, we've got Palisades. We've gone on the most dangerous fucked up. This is the domino effect. So you could say we got a renaissance. The only renaissance I got is propaganda. So I'm talking about the dry cast containers. This is important. Yeah, well, amen. So I'm talking about the dry cast containers. And you Johnny come lately fools. Oh, the dry cast container situation, Senator or the Grays. You're full of shit. Do you realize these reactors were never built for freaking spent fuel? They were supposed to go to Yakima. These towers, the domes, Dolly Parton, had swimming pool after swimming pool after swimming pool after swimming pool stacked in them. These big they're, you know, rod packages this big, Western Zirconia behind my house with the pellets, Karen Silkwood. There's 21 to a bundle. They're surround the core. Every 18 months they redo it. They have to stay cool. They're stacked up in pools in the bottom. These pools can't even handle a 7.2 earthquake. Oh, we don't get earthquakes in SoCal, California, or Diablo. Okay. So, the situation in the spent fuel, there's the power lines that have to come in to Senator Onofre to keep the spent fuel pools cool. So the canister situation, we take them out, put them in the dry casting. They're on shock absorber. We'll get a video over there on the pad. Greatest situation? No, it's not the great, but it's 1,000 times better than being in those spent fuel pools. $1 billion. I was nervous wreck biting my fingernails when they were doing it. The whole canister incidents. I was the keynote speaker in the Austin online hearing on the script. That was all made up bullshit. There was that kid that stood up in Oceanside. That was total bullshit to block this. It never happened. I watched the footage. I saw the footage. I spoke at the hearing. There was never an accident where the canister almost. That's total bullshit. And these guys rolled in here and tried to pull that stunt. They way ahead of fucking time. And granted, Holtec are dirtbags. Don't get me wrong. Holtec are scumbags. What they trying to reopen Oyster Creek, trying to reopen Palisades. I had my Palisades shirt on yesterday, and so this accomplishment. So this is important because Levin, who I know, I got him to say the F word. I helped get him elected, planning for Plutonium District 49. I'm personal friends with him, so I'm in his ear big time. So he got through. I advised him for free on what we call the priority bill. Now, the pad in Texas and New Mexico, of course, nobody wants it. But like I said in these hearings for years, it don't matter. They have the legal right to do whatever they want with this waste. They don't have to tell you. They don't have to have your permission. I live in Utah. We have state laws on how much waste can come into Utah on the radiation levels. Do not forget this. I was in a bone marrow transplant center. The night I went into a coma, I went to the bone marrow 11/11/11. Go figure. Give it too much lip. January 30th. That's why this is so historic and important. January 30th, 2012 is when I almost died. I went into a coma that night. That's the night they had the accident here. So it's just a steam malfunction. The NRC only rates it as a 3. Well, the NRC scale only goes to a 7. FUKUSHIMA. So, get this. The Marines, they're the ones that leaked it to me. So, what did they do? They backed up into the core because the exchange wasn't working. The core was going to blow. The last stand, there's a valve. They had to open the valve. Well, what does that mean? It means they release highly radioactive material into the air. This whole place is contaminated as hell. So is Command A. And so this material they're tearing down and bringing to Utah is against the law. And I go to Governor Herbert and I go to Governor Cox. They don't give a shit. They're in bed. I mean, Governor Cox in bed with Bill Gates to build little SM. What? So it's highly radioactive because they had a fucking accident here. And so they're tearing this all down and they're bringing it to Utah, where I live. Now, my dad, the Pendleton Marine right there, I was literally conceived on the beach right there. Literally. My La Jolla tennis playing mom. And I wonder how I got cancer. He died in the prime of his fucking life. After they marched him to the Nevada test site from here, the Pendleton Marine. So these Marines are the guys who leaked this all to me and I put it in the internet. Without that, they weren't going to shut this down. They were afraid of us. This was dirty, hard work getting this shut down. So, this is way ahead of schedule. So, the number one priority bill, guess who's the top of the priority to get I'm the guy that fought for the canisters to be able to have a valve and a system to. My first question at the NRC famous hearing, when I go at Alice McFarland, but after that on the canister hearing. I'm keynote speaker. First one up. Is the dry cast situation, is this set up to where you can pull those canisters right back up and fucking relocate them? Yes, absolutely. That's how they're built. That's what they're for. That is the plan. That's the total plan. So under the priority bill, Senator Onofre is number one priority in the country. And I know New Mexico doesn't want it, but I got news for you. New Mexico, a whip, they've been dumping this shit on you for decades in the cavern. They're just lying to you. There's so much nuclear waste there. It was the back door to Yucca Mountain. Or you were shiny ball on Yucca Mountain. I was fighting with Harry Reid all the time. You know, it's irony Harry Reid dies of cancer. You know, and he said he's going to turn these all into official nuclear waste dump sites. I'm like, bullshit, you can't do that. Only Congress. Well, Congress, he went to Congress and got it passed. So they're all official nuclear waste dumps. So, but under the law, especially post the Patriot, they can move this waste without telling you anytime they want. The number one first waste, so the pad by the NRC and the feds got approved this month. It's a big, big deal. Now remember, the head of the NRC, who I know, you know, was Alice McFarland, Gregory Jacko. Gregory Jacko could kiss my ass. He towered down on Fukushima in the situation. How's he even got a speaking part here? He's the cover-up of Fukushima. He betrayed us. So, the head of the NRC, Trump names Christina, approves the new scale thing. Well, as soon as sliding with Biden, he removes her, blah, 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 blah. I'm not a fan of this, guys. But they approved the pad this month. I got news. And if you don't think I know, in Utah, they can take this waste out of these canisters secretly and move it to freaking New Mexico on the pad and or Texas on the pad. I don't care how many state laws you pass in Texas. We have those in Utah. We have them in Idaho. Cecil Andrews, he's dead. Do they care? They override state law. The Fed, under the Patriot, they can legally override state law. So they can move this legally out of these canisters to the pad now without even telling you, which I've said for years. You know me. Get it off this. We don't make it in Utah. I used to say, okay, why will your toilet? You make it, you eat it here in SoCal. I used to say that, but I get it. You can't stay on this freaking, because the jet stream moves to left and right. You have an accident here, we're all getting contaminated. All across the country, including Diablo Canyon, because I got news, Fukushima. The jet stream moves left to right. These nuclear fallout does not give a fuck about your state lines that you drew. They don't care. Jet stream doesn't give a shit about your state line. So, on the left coast, it'll contaminate the entire country. That's why this is so big. I've always said this is the most dangerous reactor in the world to the United States. Getting this shut down is such a major accomplishment. So I get it. Move it off the cliffs. Move it in the middle of the night and don't even tell anybody you did it. You think that's what they're going to do? I'll bet you right now. Anyone you want to bet that it's going to happen if it isn't already? My guess could be happening right now. We're going to go find out right now. So stay tuned. There's a big deal. The Onofre kid, Kevin Lynch. Stay tuned.